So, heading straight in with the lighting. The lighting on this model was simpler than that on the Enterprise. We didn't have those rotating warp nacelle lights do, for example. So for this one, I decided to try something a little different. I used SMDs for some of the LEDs rather than the 3mm ones that poke through the hull. And rather than have them come through the hull, I used microcrystal clear to actually paint up clear windows on top of each hole. And I think that actually came out pretty well. You can see here that there are relatively few wires for the lighting compared to some of the other models out there. Primary and secondary hull were actually very easy to assemble, no problem at all. However, as you can see, the part of the model with the warp engines, warp nacelles, and the shuttle bay is actually quite difficult to put together. It's not straightforward at all. But having said all that, once you actually do get it assembled, it very quickly starts to look very cool indeed. And here you can see it assembled with the lights on. The voltmeter at the back lets me know that it's only pulling about 0.6 of an amp, which is well within the specs of a 2 amp power source. So that means that I shouldn't have any problems adding the extra electronics that I want to add into the base. Those will only pull about another ½ amp, so I shouldn't have any issues at all. So all in all, it looks like it's pretty secure. Unfortunately, once you've assembled this model kit, there's a lot of filling to do. You have to go around almost the entire circumference of the join between the two halves of the primary hull in order to get the creases out there, and especially around the impulse engine ports, or thruster ports I think they are. There's a lot of filling and a lot of filing and work to do there. The fit on the dorsal part, the dorsal rear part of the model, isn't so good either. I don't know whether I just got that wrong or whether the model itself actually just doesn't come together that well. But you have to do a lot of work there to get a seam that looks at least reasonable. And that's probably where I spent the most time correcting the model fit. The rest of the stuff was fairly minor. And to be clear, by minor I mean there was quite a bit of it, but none of it was hard to do. Okay, so I promised you that I would show you a little bit of what I've done to pimp up the model. I actually wanted to add some sound to this model, so I did some research and found some various components on the web and managed to put them together. You can see me prototyping it here into a sound card for the actual model, which will fit in the base quite nicely. And you can hear the sound from the sound card. It sounds a bit more squeaky here because it's obviously not set up finally, but once I put it in, it sounds really good. And that's about all she wrote. Short and sweet. Stay tuned to my YouTube channel. In a few days there should be a Voyager movie using the model and some special effects just to show off the model and to have a bit of fun really. So you might find that fun to have a look at. Until then, have a great 2021 and we'll see you for the next model I build.